Have you ever woken in the middle of the night with your heart pounding and a sense of dread you cannot name? Have you felt that sudden wave of fear crash over you when nothing visible has changed? When the room is still and the world is quiet, yet something inside you screams that danger is near. You are not losing your mind. You are not weak. What if this terror that grips you without warning is not a curse, but a whisper from the divine, a sacred alarm meant to pull you closer to God? You are lying in bed. The clock reads 3 in the morning. The shadows on your wall have not moved. Your phone sits face down on the nightstand, its screen dark, but your chest tightens. Your breath comes shallow and quick. There is no nightmare you can remember, no sound that woke you, yet the fear is so real you can taste it, metallic and sharp on your tongue. You reach for the lamp. Your fingers tremble. In that moment you feel utterly alone, as if you have been dropped into a void where even your own thoughts betray you. You wonder if something is wrong with you. You wonder if this will ever stop. This is not random. This is not a chemical accident or a flaw in your design. What you are experiencing is a spiritual sensitivity, a thinning of the veil between the seen and unseen worlds. Your soul is being touched. God is allowing you to feel what others sleep through because He has marked you for something deeper. The sudden fear that visits you at night is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to train you to recognize the movements of grace and spiritual warfare that most people never perceive. You have been chosen to stand in the gap, to intercede, to become aware of realms that require your attention and your prayers. This confusion you feel is the beginning of transformation. Saint Seraphina witnessed this herself. In the depths of her own nights, when the darkness pressed against her like a living thing, she learned to discern the hand of God within the terror. She wrote these words: "The fear that comes without cause is often the soul's first recognition of invisible war." She knew what you are learning now. She understood that the enemy seeks to paralyze us with nameless dread, but God permits it only so we will turn to Him with desperation we would not otherwise know. Seraphina became a vessel of peace, not because she never felt fear, but because she allowed that fear to drive her into the arms of Christ. She saw that every trembling moment was an invitation to deeper trust, to a communion that transcends understanding. Her life became a testimony that what terrifies us in the dark can become the very ground where we meet the Holy. In the unseen realm, when you wake with sudden fear, something is happening that your physical eyes cannot register. Angels are moving. Demonic forces are testing. The spiritual atmosphere around you is charged with activity. Your soul, which is far more perceptive than your conscious mind, senses this disturbance. God has given you a gift, though it feels like a burden. He has allowed your spirit to become attuned to the frequencies of the invisible war. When you feel that surge of terror, it is often because your guardian angel is shielding you from an attack you cannot see, or because intercessory grace is flowing through you for someone else who is in crisis at that very moment. You are not just experiencing fear. You are standing on a battlefield. Your awareness is not a mistake. It is a call to arms. It is a summons to prayer. God needs warriors who can feel the danger before it manifests, who can cry out to Him when others are too numb or too distracted to notice. Your sensitivity is your weapon. Your fear is the signal to deploy it. Are you beginning to see that your weakness has always been your hidden strength? The world tells you to be strong, to control your emotions, to never let fear touch you. But God works differently. He chooses the trembling, the anxious, the ones who cannot sleep, because they are the ones who will stay awake to pray. You have been given this sudden fear not because you are broken, but because you are called to a ministry of midnight intercession, called to stand between heaven and earth when the darkness grows thick, called to be a vessel through which divine mercy flows into situations you may never fully understand. Others sleep soundly while spiritual forces rage, but you wake. You feel. You know something is wrong even when you cannot name it. This is not a flaw. This is your assignment. God has positioned you as a watchman, and the fear you feel is the alarm that tells you to take your post. You are not too sensitive. You are sensitive enough, but you must learn discernment. Not every fear is divine. Not every surge of panic is a spiritual signal. How do you tell the difference? By the fruit. When God allows you to feel fear for a purpose, it will eventually lead you to peace. Even if that peace comes only after you have prayed, it will sharpen your compassion. It will make you more aware of others' hidden struggles. It will drive you to your knees. And there, in that place of surrender, you will find clarity. You will know what to pray for, even if you do not know all the details. But when fear comes from the enemy alone, it leads only to more fear. It spirals. It isolates. It convinces you that you are helpless and that prayer is useless. Divine fear is a doorway. Demonic fear is a trap. Learn to recognize the difference by watching where the fear takes you. Does it take you toward God or away from Him? Does it make you want to pray or make you want to hide? Does it eventually settle into a quiet knowing, or does it fester into despair? The Spirit of God will always guide you toward truth, toward light, toward connection with the Father. The enemy will always try to pull you deeper into darkness and confusion. Trust the fruit when the fear comes upon you without warning in the stillness of the night. Speak this quietly in your heart. God, I trust you in this darkness. Do not add to it. Do not make it complicated. Just those 6 words. Let them become your anchor. Say them slowly. Let them settle into your bones. This is not a magic formula. This is not a guarantee that the fear will vanish instantly. But it is a tether. It is a way to remind your soul that you are not abandoned, that even in terror you are held, that the darkness cannot have the final word. Speak it when your heart races. Speak it when you feel the dread rising. Speak it until you believe it, and then speak it some more. Over time, this simple prayer will reshape your nights. It will train your spirit to turn toward God in the moment of fear rather than away from Him. It will become the reflex that saves you from spiraling. Let it be your weapon and your comfort. You need to know that you are not fighting alone. When you wake with that sudden fear, holy beings are already present. Your guardian angel is beside you, standing between you and forces you cannot see. The saints who have gone before, those who also trembled in the night and learned to trust, are interceding for you even now. Saint Seraphina herself, from the courts of heaven, sees your struggle. She recognizes it because it was hers, and she prays for you. She asks the Father to give you the grace to endure, to understand, to grow in faith through this fire. You are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses who know what it is to be afraid and to choose faith anyway. They are cheering you on. They are holding you up when your own strength fails. You are part of a vast family of believers who have walked this narrow path, and they have not forgotten you. The communion of saints is real, and it is active, and it is focused on your victory. You are not alone in your bedroom at 3 a.m. You are in the company of the redeemed, the holy, the faithful who have learned to see fear as the beginning of intimacy with God. Every time you choose to pray instead of panic, heaven takes note. Every time you whisper trust into the darkness instead of cursing your fear, it is recorded in the books of eternity. You think these small acts of faith are insignificant. You think no one sees your private battles. But God sees. He treasures every trembling prayer you have ever offered. He collects every tear you have cried in confusion. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. The victories you win in secret, when no one else knows you are fighting, are the ones that matter most. They are the ones that shape your soul into the image of Christ. They are the ones that build the foundation for everything else God wants to do through you. Do not despise these hidden struggles. They are your training ground. They are where you learn to be a warrior. They are where you discover that faith is not the absence of fear, but the decision to trust God in the presence of it. And every single time you make that decision, you are changed. You are strengthened. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. The fear you feel at night is no longer just a fear. It is becoming a doorway. Walk through it. On the other side is a deeper communion with God than you have ever known. On the other side is an intimacy that only comes through suffering and trust. On the other side is a version of yourself that is no longer shaken by every shadow, because you have learned to see the light that darkness cannot overcome. This is the transformation God is working in you. He is teaching you to live in 2 worlds at once, to walk with 1 foot in the visible and 1 in the invisible, to be a bridge between heaven and earth. The sudden fear that grips you is the labor pain of your rebirth into this greater reality. Do not run from it. Do not nam italiano. Do not wish it away. Let it do its work. Let it drive you deeper into prayer. Let it make you desperate for God in ways that comfort never could. And one day, you will look back on these nights of terror and you will see them for what they truly were. The moments when God loved you enough to wake you up, to call you out, to invite you into the mystery of His kingdom. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And the fear that once felt like your enemy is becoming your greatest teacher. Are you beginning to feel the shift? Can you sense that something holy is at work, even in the terror? The invitation is before you. God is asking you to trust Him in a way you never have before. He is asking you to believe that He is good even when the night is dark and your heart is pounding and nothing makes sense. He is asking you to stand in the gap for others who are suffering in ways you may never understand. He is asking you to become a vessel of His peace, not because you are never afraid, but because you have learned to bring your fear to Him and let Him transform it. This is your moment. This is your calling. Do not let it pass you by. Now, I want to hear from you. When was the last time you woke with sudden fear, and what did you do in that moment? Tell me in the comments below. I want to know your story, because your experience matters, and others need to hear that they are not alone in this. And if this message has touched something deep inside you, do not keep it to yourself. Subscribe to this channel right now so you never miss the next teaching. There is so much more that Saint Seraphina has revealed about the spiritual life, about the signs God sends us, about the hidden battles we all face. You need these teachings. Someone in your life needs them too. Share this video with a friend, a family member, someone who wakes at night afraid and does not know why. Do not wait. The enemy wants you to forget what you have heard here. He wants you to go back to confusion and isolation. But God wants you to step forward into your calling. He wants you to become the intercessor, the watchman, the one who prays when others sleep. More revelations from Saint Seraphina are coming, more wisdom about the signs and wonders of the spiritual life. But you have to stay connected. You have to be part of this community of seekers and believers who are learning to see with new eyes. So, comment, subscribe, share, and then take a moment right now to pray. Ask God to give you courage for the next time fear visits you in the night. Ask Him to help you see it as He sees it, not as a curse, but as a call. And trust that He will answer. E always, dos,